Yesterday, General MUHOOZI Kainerugaba came out to warn the wife of Dr. Kizza Besigye, known as WINNIE BYANYIMA, that she must be ready for an attack and a beating from him. We all know that it came when WINNIE BYANYIMA came out to ridicule MUHOOZI Kainerugaba that Uganda is a laughing stock because of what he normally tweets. MUHOOZI Kainerugaba came out in a tweet and I said, and I quote, the first tweet is, "This old stupid woman, if my father did not beat you enough in 1985 to 1986, trust me, I will." The reason as to why that tweet came, it was because WINNIE BYANYIMA earlier had come out to say that Uganda is a laughing stock of Iran's embassy in South Africa. This must stop Ugandans, our national defense, our regional, etc., etc. The background of that thing is MUHOOZI Kainerugaba tweeted that it can take the UPDF to defeat Iran. MUHOOZI Kainerugaba tweeted that the UPDF can defeat the Iranian army. And the Iranian embassy in South Africa ridiculed MUHOOZI, which caught the eyes of WINNIE BYANYIMA. When WINNIE BYANYIMA tweeted about the same, MUHOOZI Kainerugaba attacked WINNIE BYANYIMA. In another tweet, MUHOOZI Kainerugaba came out to say, and I quote, "Mose used to use a head for a punching bag. I thought that's how men exercise in the morning." Literally meaning that Museveni used to beat WINNIE BYANYIMA every morning, and Mose grew up thinking that that's how men do their exercise. It has two things. One, for MUHOOZI Kainerugaba coming out to say that his father, General Kaguta Museveni, used to beat WINNIE BYANYIMA, is confirming that General Museveni practices domestic violence. You know, there are some things you treat with a ripple effect. MUHOOZI Kainerugaba coming out to say that Museveni used to beat WINNIE BYANYIMA is like saying that Museveni practices domestic violence, which is highly regrettable in Uganda. Secondly, MUHOOZI is also coming out to confirm that General Museveni and WINNIE BYANYIMA have ever dated. It's not my words. One day WINNIE BYANYIMA came out to also confirm that he has ever dated General Museveni. In fact, he has a tape.
You put out a tweet on the 20th February and say, on NBS TV, Andrew Mwenda goes off the matter under discussion, which is the illegal detention of Besigye, and brings up my relationship with President Museveni. If it is really of interest to him, he should wait for my book. It's an interesting story.
Yeah.
What do you think was the intention of this?
I don't know, because he seemed to want very much to remind people that a long time ago I had a relationship with President Museveni, and yeah, I did. but what relevance was it there? It was of no relevance.
What relevance is it now in this case?
None at all. Absolutely none. I mean, President Museveni is somebody I've known since I first became aware of the world. He was in my home, visiting our home when I was maybe 3 years old. I've known him all my life. So why he features there is not relevant, really. But I think that Mwenda just thought that this was an interesting angle, so I also threw it at him and said, okay, if you are interested, just wait for my book.
So if it's not relevant, then all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I'm sure you've thought about this, then the book.
I think some people think that maybe that the relationship has an element of scandal, and maybe it makes me uneasy. They couldn't be more wrong. They are so wrong. This is a relationship that I had so many years ago, and my views about it is that it was a normal relationship with some challenges, and I left it, but it's nothing to be, it's not interesting for the political discussion. It's just interesting between us. That's all.
But you found it interesting to put it in a book?
No, I mean, in my book, it's not a significant thing in the book, but it's just one of those events that happened in my life, a small event.
So when should we expect this book?
No, I don't.
That is the tape. Personally, when I was young, I remember in 2001, I think I was in my primary something, I think primary primary 4, primary 2, they all thereabout, but I was in my primary. When Besigye came out to run for presidency, I used to hear rumors that they are fighting for a woman. 20 years later, it is being confirmed by Winnie BYANYIMA himself that he has ever dated General Museveni, but also it is being confirmed by the first son, Mwanafunzi Karugaba, that his father used to beat Winnie BYANYIMA, which has two things that shows Museveni practiced domestic violence and Museveni is violent. So, for the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the gravity of the tweet which was made by Mwanafunzi Karugaba, what it means for our politics, and most importantly, the study methods we can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're into this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagri. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this should be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. One, ever since General Mwanafunzi Karugaba wanted to be or to succeed his father, he has been so controversial. He's becoming an example of someone that is letting down his father. It is the truth. He normally tweets things which cannot be. Even, I think if honchos within the NRM government read these things, they shudder. If they must come out to protect the image. To an extent, there is a day it talked about capturing Kenya. It took his father to ask for forgiveness. I keep on telling people that there are very many things General Museveni can do, but he cannot come out and say that I did this. And on the contrary, Mwanafunzi normally threatens the constitution. He has never come out to say that after his father there will be no constitution. It will be a revolution. The tweets he makes are a threat not only to the democracy, but also to Uganda. The tweets he makes are a threat to our diplomatic engagements and international community. It is the truth. So for him to come out and say that his father used to beat Winnie BYANYIMA in 1985 is ridiculing his father that he beats women. And in our African culture, a man is not supposed to beat a woman. It is the truth. Okay? I was watching TV and the PLU Secretary General Daudi Kavanda came out to say that normally those tweets is when General Mwanafunzi is joking. But they cannot be taken as jokes if you come out and say that you want Bobby Wine and you go ahead to attack his wife at home, break the doors. They cease to be threats. They cannot be threats when you come out and say that you want Besigye's head, and a few weeks later, Besigye arrested in Kenya is in prison. They cease to be threats if tweets are put out and actions follow. So if Mwanafunzi Karugaba comes out to say that he's planning to beat Winnie BYANYIMA, one, even in African setting, it is very bad. Winnie BYANYIMA is fit to be Mwanafunzi's father. And to an extent that General Mwanafunzi knows clearly that Winnie BYANYIMA has ever dated his father, Winnie BYANYIMA is equally his father. So beating Winnie BYANYIMA is beating your father. And the gods of politics, the gods of virtues, as normally General Mwanafunzi comes out to say, they will curse Mwanafunzi Karugaba because he has reached tested boundaries of African culture and constitutionalism and the body politic of our nation. But of course, these things are starting to be normal when a CDF comes out to tweet something controversial. Even sometimes actions follow. I really feel for my country. Of course, it's my opinion, truly, Mr. Makindi Kabisula Magali. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I'm motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.